Childhood is a blessing, and as I've grown older, I've realized that more and more that is true. As I lived through my childhood, I played a lot of games. And recently, I was looking back and felt really nostalgic. So you know what? Why not? I'm going to do top 5 games from my childhood. Because honestly, why not? Number 5. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii, released in 2010 by Nintendo. Now, this was my first experience with Donkey Kong. I'd never heard or even played any game previous to this, so this was a great way to start. This was, in my opinion, the Wii's prime years. They were releasing a lot of really, really great games, and I can remember I played this game for hours trying to get all the secret temple things done, and it was a solid game in all. The collectathon, the levels, the music. Oh, the music was a masterpiece. It was the cream of the crop. The music was incredible, and the gameplay backed it up 100%. This game is going to go down in history as, in my opinion, one of the greatest Wii games, period. The only problem is the lack of difficulty. It doesn't get difficult until the last world, and by then it's already over. In the old games, there's no monkeying around. In this game, you can tell is made for a younger generation. But what about the older generations that played the precursors to this? Other than that, solid game. Number 4. Coming in at our number 4 spot is Super Mario Galaxy 2. This game was an immediate classic for me. I had never played the original, but this was a great place to start for myself. The visuals were incredible, the music was superb, it was like eye candy for my younger eyes. I couldn't help but love its beautiful and slightly cartoony charm it had going for itself. The bosses were magnificent. The levels were so unique. The music was, it was intense. Now, the only reason this is much higher on my list is due to the fact that as a child, I was not very good at passing through video games in-game walls. Now, not literal walls, but figurative walls, things that were keeping you from continuing through the game. Certain worlds required a amount of stars, and the only way to get those stars were to play levels, obviously, but eventually you need to start doing challenges, or perhaps you have to do very challenging levels, and for a child, it's not really fair to do all these super precise, and in my opinion, some of these levels for a child are quite difficult, I must be honest. Obviously now, in going back to play it, I found it much easier, but some of these levels, I feel like they almost should have had a easy mode maybe, where you started with more health, like instead of 3, 6, and it would have made the game much easier, and obviously much higher on my list. Number 3. Coming in at number 3 is a game that might surprise a few, but not me. Kirby Superstar Ultra is a remastering of sorts of Kirby Superstar from 1996. This game was one of the first I ever got on my Nintendo DS, and what a game to start off my experiences with the system with. The fact that I was this pink puffball that ate other creatures to gain their abilities mesmerized me. I thought it was crazy and awesome. That had 8 plus game modes plus mini games. It was absolutely ridiculous the amount of stuff they crammed into this game. I was extremely impressed, and the vibrant colors, the unique power-ups, the level design, the bosses, it all completely had me sold. I remember friends watching me play and being completely confused on what it was I was doing. After letting them play, they were hooked. I'm serious. If you want a great remastering of an even greater game, I sincerely suggest you try this out. Number 2. Coming in at number 2 is Kirby's Return to Dreamland for the Wii. Now, I know it's a little strange to have 2 Kirby games back to back, but obviously my number 1 spot, if I had put it here, wouldn't have been right. This game was honestly right around when the Wii and Nintendo kind of started slowing down. This was one of the last big games, in my opinion, for the Wii that I personally fully played through and enjoyed considerably. However, just because it was one of the last few great games I played on the Wii doesn't mean it was a bad one. No. To say the least, this was incredible. It was exactly what I was hoping for when I heard a new Kirby game was coming out for the Wii. Not only did it release new abilities, new worlds, a crazy story that I wouldn't dare spoil, insane levels, wonderful boss fights, beautiful soundtrack, wonderful story. It's honestly gotta be one of my favorite Kirby games. If you need a Kirby fix, this is the game. Finally, number 1. Coming in at number 1 is Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. This was one of the first RPGs I ever played, one of the best Mario games I ever played. They combine it so well. The third game in the series, beautiful. I've even heard it's getting remastered on the 3DS and 2DS XL, which is awesome. I can't wait to see more of this game. I can't recommend it enough. The story, even when I was a child, I couldn't tell you by myself. You must play it. If you own this game, bring it out, play it, you'll love it.